G'day guys and gal, I know what you're thinking. Jesus Christ, Majorkill, you need to get a haircut, you bloody hobo. Long hair on me isn't a vibe, but my city has been in lockdown for over 200 days, with the end of it being like 2 months away. Shit. So I'm gonna get Chris to cut my hair and just see what happens. Either I'll look as fresh as an aborted zygote, or I'll look like a meth addict. Win-win situation. A silver lining to being trapped at home for nearly a year is that I have plenty of time to make Warhammer lore videos for ya. Everyone loves Primarchs, the Loyalists more so than the Traitors. Considering my What the Traitors have been up to video has absolutely popped off, I reckon this one will be a hit as well. Before we get started, one of the best parts about growing as a channel is that the sponsors I pull in now aren't total garbage. Hence today, I'm excited to tell you that this video is sponsored by Blood of Heroes. A new PC game that looks great, plays great, and isn't pay to win. Like, they gave me a ton of in-game currency and I was still getting my ass beat. It plays a lot like a more forgiving PvP Dark Souls. If you're already keen on it, then use my link below to sign up for the open beta. If you aren't convinced, then I'll give you a squiz at some gameplay of me absolutely wrecking noobs. After a short handy tutorial, I had this down pat. GG, easy. Time for a 3v3, baby. So yeah, the first game, it didn't go so hot. But the first game is a warm-up, so it doesn't count. Not to mention my shitty Australian internet put me at a slight disadvantage. Doesn't matter. Time for the second game. Okay, not too good, but wait, my teammates, they've taken them down to a 2v1. Am I about to get my first round win? Oh no, the team committed suicide. Ah shit, I think I did more damage to my teammates than the enemy that game. Alright, no more Mr. Nice Guy. I'ma buy this guy, I'ma buy him a weapon, I'ma buy this random dragon totem that does nothing but looks nice. Here we go, third time's a charm. Dude, this fire guy's hectic as. Hey, first kill, baby. Score isn't looking too hot, but we got this. Hey, second kill, baby. Can we do it? All we gotta do is hold this point. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah, buddy. Look at that. Second highest kills on the team and highest damage. Oh, my back is sore after that one, eh? If this is something that you're keen on giving a go, then use my link below to sign up to the beta. It's free to play, so there's nothing to lose in giving it a try. Except maybe your dignity when I kick your ass on the battlefield. Bitch. Today we'll talk about what each of the Loyalist Primarchs did after the Horus Heresy, and where they are today. As it seems like a number of them are on the verge of returning to the setting, we can also theorize about what that might look like. Let's get into it. We'll start with Rogal Dorn, because he's the first Loyalist Primarch on this image that I always go back and refer to. When the Horus Heresy ended with a bang, Rogal was the one who had to carry Daddy's broken body to the Golden Throne and hook his dried crusty nipples up to the equivalent of a galactic lighthouse battery. No wonder why the Big E is in agony. Rogal was obviously a bit sad about the whole affair and his, judgment became clouded. Usually a level-headed bastion of defense, Rogal became a fucking berserker and he led a gnarly crusade across the galaxy to massacre anything with a horn and anyone who was horny. This blinded rage eventually became his downfall, as he allowed the Imperial Fist to get sucked into a trap laid by Perturabo, the Iron Cage. Rogal allowed his sons to be massacred in their attempt to defeat Purdy, and only the intervention of the Ultramarines saved the Fist from extinction. Dorn was also very much against Giliman's idea to break up the legions into smaller chapters, in order to decentralize the Imperium's armies to avoid another Horus Heresy. The disagreement escalated until civil war seemed inevitable. It was only through his humbling against Perturabo, as well as the intense usage of a magic pain glove, that he eventually relented and allowed shit like the Black Templars to become a thing. During the First Black Crusade, Dorn led the Fist in the Imperium's defense, but was eventually surrounded on the enemy's flagship. Now it's not entirely clear what happened next. Previous lore stated that Dorn died in a heroic last stand. Other lore says that he was greatly wounded and taken away by an Imperial Fist librarian. It seems, however, that the current canon indicates that only his severed hand was discovered, and that no one knows where he went or if he is alive. I think GW wanted to keep the door open for a potential Rogal return, hence they haven't outright killed him. Regardless, I think if Rogal is going to return, he'll be one of the last Primarchs to do so. Next up we have Ferris Manus, who has done absolutely fuck all since the Horus Heresy due to his untimely death at the hands of his flamboyant fuckhead brother, Fulgrim. It was implied that Malcador and the Emperor could revive Ferris if they were given enough time, and that Ferris was leading the first rendition of the Legion of the Damned during the war in the Webway, but that could have just been a manifestation of the Emperor's wrath and sorrow, so I wouldn't look too deep into it. It's a bit sad because Ferris seemed like a really interesting dude from the short time we knew him. Now onto Sanguinius, who, yeah, similar boat to Ferris due to the whole dead as fuck thing. In saying that though, there are fragments of his soul scattered around. One shard is still on the vengeful spirit. It kinda just walks around aimlessly and it gets teased by the Black Legionnaires. Other shards seem to be connected to Mephiston, Dante, and the Sanguinor. Yeah, I don't know, the Blood Angels have had some weird recent lore that indicates that they are bound to two angelic gods in the warp. It's a bit of a head scratcher, but it's obvious that Sanguinius is at the heart of it all. Next up, we have the best up, the Lion, baby. I fucking love the Lion. 100% he is the next Primarch to return, or I do a nudie run. The Lion's post-heresy lore is a bit brief, but it slaps. When he returned to Caliban, he discovered that his adoptive daddy Luther had convinced the planet that he had betrayed the Emperor, hence he was fired upon. The Lion was like, "Get fucked, you dog," and he bombed the planet in return before coming down to engage in glorious melee combat. The Lion found Luther, who had been jacked up with warp powers, and they entered a duel. Once again, the lore around this is sketchy, but it seems like the Lion was getting the upper hand, had an opening to kill Luther, hesitated, cause you know, daddy issues, then Luther fucking blasted his ass and knocked the Lion out. Then the Watchers in the dark took the Lion to the bowels of the rock, which was then launched into space and is now used as the Dark Angel's Fortress Monastery. The Lion likely recovered from his injury pretty rapidly, but he's being kept in a coma by the Watchers. The Watchers are mysterious as hell, and even give Chaos the heebie-jeebers, so it's unclear what their motives are. Perhaps they knew that eventually the Great Rift would appear, hence wanted to have the Lion ready for that. My theory is that with the recent escape of Luther, the fallen angels will gather to him, whilst the Dark Angels will also prepare. Then instead of fighting, the Lion will wake up and take both legions under his command and become a galactic superpower that threatens Giliman's rule, kinda like a West and East Rome situation. For now though, the Lion sleeps tonight, wee away. Now onto the big man, Vulcan. Vulcan kept vanishing and reappearing after the Horus Heresy, usually because he would die horribly, lose his mind, be discovered, get rehabilitated, then rinse and repeat. His last sighting was during the War of the Beast, where Vulcan took on a Krork and both of them were atomized. Whenever a Perpetual is completely destroyed like that, they pop up elsewhere. Before this happened though, Vulcan left a note to the Salamanders, saying that once they found all 9 of his special artifacts, he would return to them. Bit of a dick thing to do, making your sons go on an Easter egg hunt like that, but oh well. So far, 5 of the artifacts have been found, so it seems like we won't be seeing Vulcan anytime soon. I reckon he's lost his mind again, or at least suffering amnesia, and currently roams a death world, petting creatures and playing Minecraft. Maybe when all 9 artifacts are together, it will perform some warp fuckery and cure Vulcan of his, issues, allowing him to return. This next one probably needs its own video because he's like pretty much the protagonist of the setting right now. Giliman. Shortly after the end of the Heresy, G-Man was baited into a trap by Fulgrim and he was raped to death, only technically surviving due to a stasis field. Hence Giliman sat in silence, trapped between life and death for 10,000 years. Man, his back must have been fucked. However, due to the overpowered brain of Call combined with the thick ass of Yvraine, Giliman was revived just after the fall of Cadia. I highly recommend reading the book excerpt of Gilliman's revival. It's badass as fuck. He gets revived, stands up, and the entire battle stops as everyone looks in awe, or if you were Chaos aligned, horror. He then immediately charges into battle and completely fucks up everything with a Chaos symbol on it, before then leading a crusade to Terra, kicking Magnus's ass, fighting off a fuck huge Cornite invasion, saving the Imperium via the Indominus Crusade, and then fighting off Nurgle during the Plague Wars in Ultramar. He was even killed by Mortarion before the Emperor decided that he wasn't going to play nice anymore. Yeah, the Emperor straight up wounded Nurgle and set fire to his entire realm. Needless to say, Giliman has been a busy little bee. A lot of people are a bit worried about the return of the Primarchs and what it means for the setting, but I say fuck those people. Primarchs are fucking dope, the more the merrier. Now onto the Khan, who is by far the most underrated Primarch. I'm not saying he's the best, but he was neglected for so long by GW that he, along with his legion, kinda sank to the bottom. However, in recent Heresy novels and lore, he's finally been done justice. His logic for remaining Loyalist was by far the best out of everyone's. Like, he doesn't follow the Emperor out of blind loyalty, and everyone thought he would fall to Chaos, but when pressed as to why he stayed loyal, he was like, well, yeah, the Emperor is a dick, and the Imperium isn't the best, but the alternative you're giving me is to literally sell my soul to hell and watch countless innocent people get raped to death by demons. Not really a hard choice, is it? When the Heresy ended, the Khan took a leading role in reinforcing humanity against Xenos. He led his sons for another 7 decades before he was last seen chasing Dark Elder ass into the webway. I'm a strong believer in the theory that due to Gorach, the Elder God of Memes, swapping the Khan and Fulgrim's home planet, he set up the Khan's destiny to eventually lead back to him. So I reckon that upon entering the webway, the Khan was trapped by Gorach, who lives within the webway. It's unclear if the Khan and Seer are just hanging out and shit, or if the Khan is being used as a battery to fuel the Laughing God. But once again, I don't think we'll be seeing the Khan for quite some time. Next up we have Corvus Corax, the Raven Lord, and the dude who by far has the spiciest post-heresy lore. At the end of the Horus Heresy, there were barely any Raven Guard left. Most had died during the Istvan Dropsite massacre, and the special source the Emperor gave to Corvus to rapidly rebuild his legion had been stolen and corrupted by the Alpha Legion. Not ideal. As such, Corvus decided to go at it solo, and he travelled to the Eye of Terror by himself. Now Corvus knew better than most that each Primarch's potential lay within the warp powers within them. Some like Giliman and Rogel rejected their inner warp powers and relied on the humanity for strength. Corvus knew that in order to actually be able to enter the Eye of Terror and assassinate demon Primarchs, he would have to go Super Saiyan. Hence Corvus unlocked his power and he became a demon. Not a demon of chaos, just a fucking hectic demon. He began slaughtering word bearers whilst being completely untouchable himself. He was a living shadow of death. The word bearers summoned their father Lorgar to save them, and he too got sodomized. Lorgar was beaten by Corvus for a second time, and he ran away to hide in his tower for the next 10,000 years, whilst Corvus assumedly remains outside it, waiting for his bitch-ass brother to come out and play. And finally, we have the Lehman Russ. Corvus wasn't the only Primarch to go for a holiday in the Eye of Terror. After 200 years of leading his sons, Russ got bored, and he decided to go in as well. No one really knows why, but there is a few theories. The foremost amongst them is that there is a tree of life somewhere in the warp that Russ believes can heal the Emperor, but that sounds kinda stupid, so I doubt it. The Space Wolves have gone on various great hunts to try find their lost Primarch, and to their credit, they did find some shit like his armor and other breadcrumbs, but nothing too substantial. The cool thing about the Great Hunt is that it's triggered by the Space Wolves' rune priests getting visions from Russ, telling them to go piss on that guy's tree or to go shit in that guy's yard. Whilst none of these visions have resulted in the return of Russ, the Great Hunt always are a huge benefit to the Imperium, as they always end up stopping some kind of Avengers level threat. The prophecy says that the Wolf Daddy will come back during the end times, which will be fucking never because 40k makes so much fucking money. Either way, Space Werewolf Odin would be a cool thing to see. If you enjoyed the video and you want to support the channel, then Patreon is the place to be. Really $1 per month give you access to a boatload of hentai that is sorely lacking in Fem Primarch content. I'll get on that soon, don't worry. Hit the subscribe button and hit the real subscribe button for more Prime content. Join the Discord for more memes and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.